Hey, I know lots of people who want to buy my property. Why in the world would I hire a broker when I have lots of buyers myself? I've heard that from a lot of investors, and there are actually quite a few good reasons why you might want to consider hiring a broker to sell your investment property, even though you probably do know lots of prospective buyers. So today we're going to talk about 4 reasons to consider hiring. The number one reason that you may want to consider hiring a broker to sell your property is the problems that will most likely come up. So probably about 75% of the time when we sell an investment property, there are problems that do come up. And most of the time they are solvable. We're able to inject some of our knowledge and experience into the transaction to help solve those problems. Maybe 15% of the time they are not solvable, and there may be serious issues that we have to deal with before we can bring in another buyer to the property. And there's probably about 10% that have no problems at all. Of course, we all love those types of transactions, and I hope you get one of those, but they are less common than a lot of other problems that do arise. Some of those problems can involve environmental issues, even when you don't think that there would be an environmental issue. We recently sold an apartment building that did have an issue. So there's always things that do come up in relation to environmental. And even though you may be familiar with the fact with a commercial property, you don't have to have a seller's disclosure. You are responsible as a seller to disclose environmental issues that you know of. So make sure that you're dealing with any environmental issues properly. Other issues that come up are things in a buyer's due diligence, like they may be concerned about zoning or the market absorption, or is there any upside in the rents, and on it goes. So we're able to help address a lot of those buyers' concerns and help keep the transaction moving forward. Other issues that we encounter are financing related. If the buyer is getting financing, or maybe they waive their finance contingency, but they're getting cash from another source, and that has a problem. So there's a lot of opportunities for issues to arise, and we're able to help address those and keep you moving forward without a hiccup in time or in price. The second reason to consider hiring a broker is the fact that competition breeds a higher price. And we're able to, of course, bring lots of competition to the property in the form of lots of buyers. When you have lots of buyers, they typically compete, they increase their price, they reduce their contingencies, maybe they pay cash when otherwise they would not, and just in essence help bring the seller, you, a better price and better terms for your property. Now, of course, you probably do know lots of buyers, but I'm sure you don't know them all. Even investment brokers, whose our job it is to know the buyers, don't know them all, but we make sure it's widely marketed so it gets in front of as many people as possible, while also reaching out to our prospective investors and making sure that as many people see it who are qualified to bring you offers. The third reason to consider hiring a broker is your time. Now, time is a factor that maybe if you're a younger or new investor, you're not thinking about as much. But the fact is, your time is valuable, and selling a property takes a lot of time. It's from preparing the marketing, doing the underwriting for the property, reviewing your prospects to make sure they're qualified. That's really important. And it's not just your time, but also we make sure that prospects are qualified before taking up through the property and disturbing your tenant and costing them their time as well. So making sure that your process runs forward smoothly without taking a lot of time and hassle from you is also a very important factor. The fourth reason to consider hiring a broker is the fact that we're bringing knowledge to the transaction. And you may think that you know a lot there is, and you probably do, about your particular investment, but sometimes people just miss opportunities that can be identified by someone who has a lot of experience, a lot of time in the market. So for example, we had an investor who owns a property in kind of a dense urban area with a large parking lot. That parking lot was not all being utilized by his tenants, and we were able to see the opportunity to bring in a automatic payless system to monetize that parking for other people to utilize and pay for parking in the downtown, which of course increases the potential income for the property and increases his value, which investors are willing to pay more for, even if it's the potential for that investment return as well. So by identifying areas of potential income or just being knowledgeable of the market overall, so hey, I just sold this property for $135 a door. I think you can get at least that much, where they might be thinking it's $110 a door, for example, is a great opportunity to make sure that you're maximizing the value of your asset, even when you think you do know the value of the property. So the knowledge to make sure you're not leaving money on the table is a really important part of why you may want to consider hiring a broker as well. So those are 4 key areas to consider as you go forward in marketing your property. So if you're interested in a free broker opinion of value and you own investment properties within Pennsylvania or Maryland, and you'd like us to review that for you as you consider a sale, please reach out to us. We're happy to help.